This week we're doing a Neopolitan cheesecake. It's a vegan cheesecake. If you look on the internet, there's like 1,000,001 vegan cheesecakes that you can make yourself. They're all raw, they're never cooked. This one, we kind of stole the recipe from, where was it, Greytown. You know, Food Forest Organics that used to be in Greytown. When we first moved up here, we used to go through Greytown and sometimes just buy a little piece of dessert from that shop. And one day we bought a Neapolitan cheesecake and it was amazing. So I looked up the internet and tried to find a recipe that would be very similar, and this one seemed to match it exactly. So the first thing we need to do is make the crust. So I've got here just a springform tin. You need a springform tin with a piece of baking paper in the bottom. So that needs to sit quite snugly. And in our, let's grab this here. I might move that over. Yeah, I'll give you the things to put in. So in our crust, we're going to start with, I'm going to double the base. If you're looking on with your recipe in front of you, I'm going to start with 2 cups of ground almonds. You're going to tip that in for me. That goes in. Well done. And I've got, as a sweetener, 1 cup of dates that I've just chopped up a little bit, just to see if there's any stones in there. And if they're chopped, this will blend it easier. You don't want to burn out your food processor. Okay. So we've got the Food Forest Organic one had cocoa powder in it. We're using Carob. Like I mentioned last week, Carob has no stimulant in it. Cocoa powder stimulates the nervous system, but Carob powder is, I've written some things down, low in fat, low in sodium, has a lot of calcium, high in fibre, can relieve diarrhoea, is caffeine free, and is a source of antioxidants. Thank you, Ben. Yeah, Carob powder's from Benin, yeah. So 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, and this is going to be the thing that adheres it all together. These are a bit hard to get off, aren't they? There you go, and here's a spoon. Thank you. And whenever I use Carob powder in anything, I always put vanilla essence in. Vanilla tends to just take away that bitterness. It can be quite, just like as if you ate cocoa powder, that'd be quite bitter. Vanilla goes really well with it. So we put in, this is going to be a guesstimate, 4 tablespoons of vanilla. Just guess. 2, 3, 4. And we'll blend that all together. We want it resembling just a fine breadcrumb. We'll swap places. Has that? Okay. Thank you. It's almost there. I don't know how, this is not mine. I don't know how to get it off. I've got it. Oop. Thanks, Ben. So we'll tip that right in. I've got it, yeah, thank you. I need another assistant. Thanks, I got it. Put that in there. So I brought out a cup. So it needs to be packed down quite tightly. So I'm going to get Ben to do this. Might use a spoon to spread it around a bit first. So if you wanted a thinner crust, you just keep it at that 1 cup of ground almonds. The one that you'll be having later on is quite a thin crust. This one's going to have a bit of a thick one. Just have to pack it down. Then we'll see if Ben, put my hand in a cup, can just really squash it down. There you go, Ben. Move it over that way. Move it over a little bit more. That's it. So I'm going to use a different blender for the filling. So this one is an Optimum. I don't know if anyone's got an Optimum here. It's a really strong blender. It's like in America they have a Vitamix, I think. Is that what it's called? Yeah. So it's similar to that. It will grind up nuts really well. So we're going to use that for the filling. Let's swap that over. Is that all right? Yep, good job. So what I like about the filling is that we make up one whole mix of vanilla, and then we separate out 1/3 of that mix and make it chocolate, another third and make it strawberry, and the vanilla one we just use as is. So you really only have to make one batch of filling mix. So we'll start with that, with 3 cups of raw cashews that I've soaked. Put that in. You're probably wondering, how can cashews make a cheesecake? But a really nice filling for a cheesecake, but you'll see this will come together really well as long as we blend it long enough. Okay, 1 cup of our sweetener, which is maple syrup. Tip that in. And 10 tablespoons of lemon juice. And 1 cup of coconut oil, which has been melted. We'll pop that in as well. Now, coconut oil can reduce stress. I think I need more of this. Increases your good cholesterol and controls your blood sugar. So it's a good oil. Have I got everything? Yep, so we'll whiz that up. Yeah, I don't want to wear it. Medium. Needs to be blended up really, really well. We don't want any gritty bits in it. So usually I would taste that and see if it had any gritty bits in it, but we'll just say that's done. So we'll put in the vanilla first, vanilla layer, because Neopolitan, remember, is chocolate, strawberry, vanilla. So I'm guessing that's about a third. And we'll spread that around. Now this needs to go in the freezer now for 15 minutes, but we're just going to pretend that that's happened. So the next layer, take out about a third. Let's have a look. Yep, that's about right. Our next layer is going to be the chocolate layer. So if you look under additional ingredients for chocolate, we're going to add those things into this vanilla mix. So we've got here just under 1/4 cup of carob powder. That goes in. And what else have we got here? 1 tablespoon of a sweetener. We'll just use our maple syrup. A tablespoon of coconut oil. That goes in. And some vanilla again. Thank you. There we go. So we'll scrape that down and we'll give this a whiz. Do. It just needs to be blended through. So that we'll get that back out of the freezer. And the carob mix will go on top of that. Thanks, Ben. We'll spread that around. I'll get you to spread that around. So I'll just get the kitchen people just to rinse this out for our strawberry layer. You spread that around there. Oh, sorry. Can you wash that up for me, please?
I'd love
to. No sampling. So that's, we haven't frozen it, but that's still worked quite well, just with the different layers. It just take a little bit of time to wash it out. When I was making this during the week, we had a few people sampling it, and their favourite layer was the strawberry one. So the one we're about to do is actually quite yummy. So, and today also, we're going to be making, last week we had some carob chocolate and we didn't actually make that. So this week we're going to make that as a topping, and that's quite nice as well. Oh. So I just got chocolate in that. We don't want chocolate in there. So we'll put in our last third. And we're looking at the strawberry, additional ingredients for the strawberry layer. And that is frozen strawberries, but make sure they're defrosted because it's too hard on your blender otherwise. Put the lid on. And that was 1 cup of frozen strawberries, and we'll just swirl that around on top. We're going to end up with a marbled cheesecake. Forgot to use this spoon. I'll spread that around, Ben, for me, and I'll get started on the chocolate topping. So I've melted here. You'll have the recipe from last week. I've got on here. I've doubled it. There's 100 grams of cacao butter here. Now, cacao butter is the part of the cocoa bean that doesn't have any stimulant in it, so that part's actually safe. So if you were going to buy chocolate, the white chocolate has no stimulant, but it has a lot of sugar. The darker you go with the chocolate, the more, it's called theobromine, is in it. And if you've got lively children like I do, you don't want them having any of that. So we're going to start off with 100 grams of cacao butter, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, there you go, a bit more. Oh, they took my bowl. I just need my other bowl. Actually, I might just use this one. So, is it right there? Okay, that would be good if it's... No, oops, no, gone. We'll use a blue bowl. Put that aside. So we're going to do dry and wet ingredients. So our carob powder will go into the blue bowl. Thanks, Ben. And that is, I've doubled it, so it's 4 tablespoons of carob powder. 2 tablespoons of soy milk powder, and this you can get, there's an organic shop in Palmerston North, no, a plant-based shop in Palmerston North in the square. I don't remember what it's called. Do you know, Julie? What's it called? Is it Whole Food Organics or something? Whole Food Organics, yep. So you can get soy milk powder there. Two, 3, that's good. 4. And normally, if I wasn't putting it on top of a cheesecake, I'd put in some chopped roasted almonds as well. A pinch of salt. And always some vanilla essence. A bit more. All right, so we'll tip in. I might go dry into wet, because I think my bowl's a bit small. We'll put that in there. Yeah. Keep stirring it till there's no lumps. Okay, yeah, we can do that. Now I would tip that on a tray, or I've got some little chocolate moulds at home, and I would tip it into those and pop it in the freezer. It needs to be kept in the freezer because at room temperature it will start to soften. So because we're going to have a topping on our cheesecake, we don't want it rock hard, so I'm just going to add just a 1/4 cup of coconut cream to it, and it will turn into sort of like a chocolate ganache. little bit of this. There you go, stir that up. Is that good? So I'll get the cheesecake I've made already that's partly frozen, and that will set really nicely on that. Have my cheesecake please, the big one over there. Yeah. So I've made a really big one here. And because that's been in the freezer for a couple of days, we'll just tip this straight on and that should set. Can I use that to scrape it out, Benny? Spread it around. There we go. So that goes back in the freezer. You can make it the day before. You'll be having this one today, so that top may not be quite set, but I really hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much.